Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Ben Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. One of my subscribers wanted me to talk about the Pat Riley situation in Miami, so I am going to discuss about it right here and now because it's been one thing that has been lurking on my mind lately, so I think it's a good time to talk about it. See, what's going on with the Miami Heat right now, from my personal observations of what I'm seeing is that right now the Miami Heat are stuck in this mediocrity mode because they just went through the whole drama fest situation with Jimmy Butler that was literally provoked by Pat Riley himself, and some of it was on Jimmy Butler too. I'm not going to say it was entirely on Pat Riley, but the problem with the Miami Heat right now is that Pat Riley is burning the franchise to the ground because he is still holding on to the old school beliefs that he inherited back in his days when he was playing with the Lakers and when he was coaching the Lakers in the 80s, the Knicks in the 90s, and now in the Miami Heat when he became team president and part owner and also head coach during that same period of time. So we had to give Pat Riley his respect for, building, the Miami Heat to the team that they've been. But here's the problem that I'm seeing. The problem that I'm seeing with the Miami Heat, and particularly when it comes to Pat Riley. Pat Riley is a type of coach that is old school and direct, and a lot of that rubs off the wrong way with the younger players today, because a lot of them are not buying into that old school mentality that Pat Riley always preaches. And yes, that old school mentality is what built the Miami Heat to what they are today. They're one of the most respected franchises in the NBA. But now, as you're seeing it, you've burned the bridges with so many stars over the course of time with the Miami Heat. You burned bridges with Dwayne Wade, all right, when he basically was looking for a contract extension. You didn't give it to him. And part of it has to do with the fact of his injury history. You didn't give a contract extension to Shaquille O'Neal when he helped bring the Miami Heat their first NBA championship in 2006. You did the same thing to Alonzo Mourning, and you partly did the same thing to LeBron James. Although I will say that LeBron was going to leave for Cleveland regardless. So, some of it was on LeBron himself too. So I'm not going to blame entirely on that one. But when it came to the Jimmy Butler situation, now, do I agree that Jimmy Butler was on some BS? Yes, I do. Because at the end of the day, you're supposed to get on the court and do your job. But a lot of it Pat Riley was doing, he was basically trying to sabotage Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler was looking for the contract extension that he rightfully deserved. Because let's be real, if it wasn't for Jimmy Butler and his dominant playoff performance out of those 4 years when they made the finals twice, the Miami Heat would not even make those finals appearances without Jimmy Butler. So that in of itself, I find that to be very, very, not very non-courteous and very disrespectful in that regard. Now, do I think that Mickey Arison, the owner of the Miami Heat, is going to fire him? No, I don't. Because again, it goes back to 95 when Mickey Arison basically brought in Pat Riley and basically gave him everything he wanted. He gave him part ownership, team president, general manager, and head coach. It goes all the way back. In fact, you can even look up into this too. It goes up back into the fact that Mickey Arison was willing to pay some of Pat Riley's bills back then to make sure that Pat Riley was very comfortable in Miami. And when I tell you that Pat Riley's a control freak, he's the ultimate control freak. Probably a lot more of a control freak than Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson can let some things slide, but he's also a bit of a control freak too. But the thing with Miami right now is that right now they don't have the requisite pieces right now to try to recruit any legitimate stars. And after they solved the whole situation with Jimmy Butler, what star free agent is going to be willing to come to Miami, really? And do you really believe that Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson is basically going to be the guys that are going to be leading your franchise? Really? Because I really think, I'll be honest with you, I think that Bam Adebayo is wrongly misused in Miami. He's a lot more better than people tend to give him credit for. And the reason why is that I've heard several stories of people watching Bam Adebayo, simply play basketball, and the guy can really dominate a game. In fact, Bam Adebayo was one of the few people that always gave LeBron James problems. Not on the basketball court in the NBA regular season where you see on camera. I'm talking about in regular pickup, where LeBron has even said that Bam Adebayo was one of the few people that he could not beat. I tend to believe that right now, Bam Adebayo is wrongfully misused. If he were playing in another franchise right now, I guarantee you he would have multiple All-Star appearances, and he would be a lot more better than here in Miami. So you add that into consideration, and you add to the fact that Eric Spoelstra has, pretty much nothing to work with, and he's pretty much an extension of Pat Riley on the bench, and you have the situation that you're seeing right now with Miami. I mean, at this point, I would not blame any star free agent that does not want to come to Miami, because they don't want to deal with the stuff that comes with Pat Riley. And if I'm the owner of the Miami Heat, I would strongly look into this situation even more further, and may have to tell the truth about Riley. Like, listen, we appreciate everything you've done for this organization. You've been the main reason why we've won, several championships, 3 of them to be precise. You're the main reason for it, because you've done the work endlessly to bring the star players that we desperately needed. But right now, we think you're the reason why this franchise is now into mediocrity. I think it's best for you to step down and let somebody else ride the ship. That's what I would have done if I were Mickey Harrison. But they're not going to let him go. At this point, it's either going to have to be Pat Riley is going to either die in that position as team president, or he'll have pretty much old age to where he pretty much said, you know what, I've had enough of the stress of this job, and I can't relate to the new players, to the new generation of NBA players today, and I'm just going to, quietly walk away from this. That could happen. But until then, I don't see Pat Riley leaving anytime soon, and I don't see the Miami Heat changing anytime soon. And also, for a lot of the Miami Heat fans that are, praying or, fantasizing of getting Giannis Antetokounmpo to Miami, good luck with that. You don't have the necessary resources or the draft picks or the type of players needed to execute a trade to get him to Miami. So I don't think that's happening anytime soon, and it's going to come down to Pat Riley. When is the day going to come then Pat Riley is going to finally realize that he's the main reason for the demise of the Heat, and finally going to step down and let somebody else, correct the ship? So that's what I tend to believe. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Take care, guys. Peace.